Hello patrons and welcome to part 3 of the post-game for the campaign of Doom. We're going to do again a quick video just going through the 6 sections on the post-game and we will see what each of us gets. First things first, I am going to go with the injured fighters. I had 4, so I'm going to roll these dice and see what I get. First one is an 8 for my fanatic. I'll need to roll that separately just at the end there. Then for my cultist with an axe is a 7, so he's okay. My bludgeon cultist on the end there gets a 6, so he'll miss the next game, but other than that he is okay. And my marksperson with the crossbow gets a 7 as well. So in total, I will need to quickly get a dice. I'll just re-roll one of these. So number 1. Okay, so my fanatic here with the hat, or the hood as we're calling it, has rolled a 8 and then rolled a 1 to 3, so he has -1 to his combat and his shoot skill. That's it for me. My opponent will now roll for their novice. Ooh, okay. So my opponent has rolled quite possibly the worst thing they could have. So the model has rolled dead and then some. So the novice is not only removed from play, but my opponent now rolls a d6 and they lose that many coins. So let's see what they get. 2. So they will lose 2 coins from their stored income. Ooh, and the novice and all their equipment is gone. Next we move on to experience and skills. In total, I've actually managed to reach 4 experience points with this fanatic. So he's now going to roll on the chart and see what he gets. An 8. So an 8 is Danger Dodger. So this model gets +1 when using a die for cover or flight or fight reaction. Half useful simply because he can't actually die for cover due to his special rules, but at least he's now able to go 4 inches when he uses a fight or flight. My opponent, actually due to a selection of killing off models and just surviving the game, they're apprentice, pirate and marksperson who are going to roll for skills. So they're going to roll for them starting with the apprentice, who gets an 11. So we'll work this out later. I'll let my opponent just roll for each one in turn. Next one is a 5 for the pirate. And then finally for the marksperson is a 10. Okay, so for the apprentice, the 11 gets him grappler. So the model counts vertical movement as normal movement instead of doubled. For the pirate, it's a 5, which is quicksilver. They get a +2 inches in the movement phase. And for the marksperson, it is bloodthirsty. They get a +2 to their move, +2 inches to their move in the combat phase. So not great for the marksperson, but perfectly usable rules for the other 2. Next we will come to the income gathering, part 3. So I get 1 dice for my alchemist surviving the game, and I get 1 dice for removing one of my opponent's models. So I get a grand total of 3, and that is in addition to the 6 coins I got from holding 1 objective as well. So that will be 9 for this game. As for my opponent, they'll be getting 1 dice for their alchemist surviving, and then 4 dice for the number of models they took out of play. So let's see what they get. So that is 5, 10, 16 they get in total, so 16. For my recuperation, I get to make my 1 roll. On a 5 or 6, I get a free cultist. No, I don't get anything. As for my opponent, they are going to use their ability to make some cheaper concoctions. However, if they roll a 1, one of them will break and they will lose the 3 coins used. So let's roll and see what they get. Okay, so they roll a 2. So we'll come back to you once they've decided which concoctions they're going to take. And there we have it. My opponent has chosen a steel bullet and a heavy bullet for their choice of concoctions. For the purchasing and hiring, first off, purchasing of new models and weapons, I did not buy anyone. I'm going to save my money for concoctions. However, my opponent has decided to buy a basic weapon for their marksperson. So from here on out, we're going to take away this marksperson model and switch them with this marksperson model who has the basic weapon. As for purchasing concoctions, I am going to use my 12 remaining coins to make 4 3-cost rolls. Okay, so that's 2 2s, which are ones that I can choose. And then we've also got a 3 and a 5. What I'm going to do to make it easier for myself is I'm just going to flip that to a 6 and flip that to a 1. So once again, as with the last game, I have one of every concoction available to me. For my opponent, they're first of all going to roll for 2 of their concoction choices, spending 6 coins. See what they get. Okay, so they get a 6 and a 1, so they get 1 choice, and they've also got a high explosive shell. What we'll do is we will come back to you once they've made their decision. So my opponent has gone with changing that 6 to a 5 to the Bullet Storm, and then on top of that they've also bought themselves for 5 coins a number 2, which is the Steel Bullet. So that takes them up to 6 concoctions at this point to my 5. Lastly, we come to the Exploration, so I'm going to roll and see what I get. I get a 6. That is a forward scouting position. Okay, this allows me to, after both players have finished deploying, I can set up a model on the board that is not in line of sight to any enemy model, and then that is the position that model starts in. As for my opponent, they're going to roll now, see what they get. They get an 8, so they will be getting counter charge. That allows them to make a normal 6-inch move with one of their fighters after both sides have finished deploying. And there we are at the end of the post-game for part 3. At this weekend we will be filming part 4, where we will be playing off the 2 groups that have lost in the first and second games. So we'll see how they play off, who emerges as the victorious. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.